Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Um, I'm going to be continuing on with the in-depth chart analysis. This is part 5. This is an anonymous reading, anonymous analysis. And today we are going to be doing, let me see. Give me a second. Mercury, Mercury, Moon, and Venus. And let me just pull up the chart so I can be accurate. Here. And if you've been following, I'll do a planet. I'll do what sign it's in, the house it's in, aspects, major aspects it makes, Western aspects, and house rulerships. So first is the moon. And moon is in 8 degrees of Aries in the 8th house. And the moon is your emotional response. Like if somebody hit me and I lashed out at them, that is the moon. Or if, I don't know, somebody says, okay, you need to work on this. Like you could be better at this. And I went and thought like, maybe this person is right. Maybe I can go and take some classes on this thing. And so that's the moon. Like you have that's my response. My response would be more of a introspective thing, something, a listening ear. That's a just example of the moon. Like, okay, somebody who listens to whatever somebody's saying to them, as opposed to somebody like responding by action or something like that. So, I mean, that was a good example because this person has the moon in Aries. Also, the moon is your thinking patterns, what you predominantly think about. Predominantly. Head is your mother. Those are the main things of the moon. I mean, I can go into more things, but those are the main things. Maybe some more things will come and pop up. So, moon in Aries. Moon in Aries people, that was the example I was saying. Like these people, they were when they're encountered by something, their response is to act. Their response is to act. They're action-oriented people. They don't necessarily think too much. They just want to do something. They have a very active mother. They have an active relationship with the mother. Like mother here in the 8th house could be somebody who acted like they research a lot. They research a lot. They investigate a lot. They dive deep because that's the 8th house. Moon is the mother. And Aries is action. So like they could be sitting somewhere like in a waiting room or something like that, and they could see something on TV or hear something, and they'll like out of nowhere, just, oh, I'm finna look that up. I'm finna find out about this. Boom, boom, boom. And then they'll go and Google it and do the encyclopedia. That's the kind of people these people are, and their mother's the same way. So your thinking patterns, you think mostly about action. You think mostly about, like, you think like an Aries acts. You respond like an Aries acts. See, where the moon reacts, the sun acts, or the sun acts, the moon reacts. So when these people are spurred into action by something that came onto them, like something they heard, something they experienced, something there, and in the eighth house, this is deep emotional experiences. Like, you'll go through it could be good, it could be bad, but it's a really deep experience, emotional. It gives you, it's an emotionally charged experience, and it spurs these people into action, and they don't think too much about it. And so the thing is to watch that. The thing is to watch that, kind of think before you go and act, and think things through. With the moon in Aries. Moon in Aries. I mean, I did a reading. I did the moon in Aries through the houses, so you can go and watch that if you want a more detailed about what moon in Aries in the eighth house is. So now moon in the eighth house. I did moon in Aries. Moon in the eighth house. This person is like always thinking, reading between the lines. They're always reading between the lines about anything somebody says to them, anything they're experiencing. They see past bullshit. They see past superficiality. Somebody's being fake with them. Their mind is always under the, in the deep, in the dark. What is hidden? Like, somebody's trying to say something to them, and they could mean something else. These people pick it up. Like, you can't sway these people. When they respond, it's from a deep, dark, intense, volcanic place. So I mean, if you know somebody who is like this or who has this, you better, I mean, watch it. Watch out. Now, other things can come. I'm just saying the moon in Aries. I mean, the moon in the eighth house. I mean, they can just, like, and moon in Aries in the eighth house here, when they get pissed off, or when they go through something really intense or really deep, or it just takes them to that deep, dark place. They, like, throw shit and punch walls and kick stuff and stuff like that. Like, they have to, like that, get it out. The emotions, like, it's like a spark. Like it's like, imagine a spark, but it's underground. It can't get out. It builds and builds and builds. It's like a volcano. It builds and builds and builds, and phew, that's how these people emotions are. And so that's what happens. I mean, it with the in the eighth house, the moon in Aries, it builds and builds and builds. It doesn't take too long for it to explode, though. But the explosion goes away just as fast as it came. I guess that's the good news with Aries person. Like, anything, any sign, any planet in Aries points or something like that. It's a sparky kind of thing. It's a pew, pew, like sparks of energy. Because Aries is the original ruler of Mars, energy. So you got Moon here, and that's how the emotions act. They act like pow, like that. So you'll notice like you or somebody who has this, or you know somebody who has this, you understand them now. Like they're not. I mean, in extreme conditions, they might need like anger management classes or something like that. But in general, I'm just talking in general, people like this, they have, it's not they don't have emotions, or that they, you know, are crazy or have an issue with anger. Their anger, their emotions comes from a dark place. It comes from a volcano. You know, a volcano just builds and builds underground. That's what the eighth house is, underground stuff. And it just builds and builds and builds, and suddenly out of nowhere, pew, because the eighth house is a house of emergencies. You don't know when an emergency is coming. Okay, so that's a little bit. The house rulership, Moon from this house, from the eighth house, rules the 11th house. 11th house is gains, incoming liquid gains, money coming in. It's your following. See, your following. It's the house where you are like you become an icon, or you're a fan to some icon. Vice versa. Either way, it's the house where it's a bunch of people, a big, large group of people. That's what it is. Large groups of people with common interests, like I don't know. Like big clubs or something like that, and you got to be a member to be in it. And this club, they're all about knitting, like knitting, sewing and stuff like that. That's the club. Everybody has this common like. Okay, it's the house of your long-term, your goals, hopes, wishes, dreams. So when the Lord of the 11th house comes in the 8th house, all your gains come from your research, your capacity for research. They all come from your capacity for transformation. Is another thing I forgot to say about the moon. The mind is always about transformation. How can it, it's a transforming mind, transforming thoughts. Like, they'll think about one thing and turn it in completely something else. So be careful of that. Or it can go other way. I mean, these people know how to turn lemons into lemonade, just what they're thinking, their thoughts. But anyway, 11th Lord in the 8th house. Your gains come from that, from your capacity for research, investigation, your ability to transform. It's 8th house is a house of sex as well. With one person, it's a house of deep emotional experiences, like an orgasm. Like, that's why they say sex. So that affects your sex life, your ability to have, I don't want to just say orgasms, but those transforming experiences. That is what your gains is going to be based off of. That's what your gains going to be based off of. So the more you can transform, the more you'll be able to earn. That's what it'll affect. Like, it could go either way. Okay, are you getting better? That's how I see it. Like, getting better and better at something. Is your mind transforming into a better thing? And that infects your gains. Like, these people, like your large organization could be someone, like people who, like investigation firm. Like your gains could come from that. It's something you could do. Um, you are a fan of researchers of this house of occult too. Also, the eighth house is a house of occult. Um, Anything that is occult or taboo, things that are like society is like, what the hell is that? What are you doing? That's crazy. We don't accept that. Anything or any thought, any religion, any science, whatever, any person, any thought, anything is the eighth house. That's where your gains come from. The more you can dive into that world, that taboo, occult, mysterious, mystical world, affects your gains. It affects the friends that come around you. It affects what kind of friends you get involved with. Um, Things like that. Okay? And so, aspects. The moon is conjunct Mercury. You have a conjunction with Mercury. And that's it for the planets. Moon conjunct Mercury. So you have emotions and intellect coming together. So these people think some like they're and communication. Mercury is communication. It's your intellect. It's your ability to take something apart and put it back together. Everything the third house is. Your reasoning skills, your communication skills, um, your discriminatory skills, things like that, and that comes through your emotions. It comes through your thinking. It could come from your mother. Your mother could be very curious person. Just wants to dig deep and just research about all kind of different things, all kind of things, and that's what kind of person you are, and that's what a lot of your intellect comes from. So like you'll go and you'll see something in a book, you'll research, and then you'll analyze it. You'll be thinking, I want to know about this thing, and then you'll take notes, or you'll take mental notes about it. You become this cathedral, like this billboard of underground knowledge, underground occult knowledge, anything that you can't see on, like you have to dig up, you have to research. Okay. The intellect is emotion, comes from emotional place. Like their intellect is based off their emotions. So they'd be like, I don't feel good. That must mean I ate too much or something like. And you see what happens. They'll start analyzing and deriving their intellect from how they feel. That's what a moon Mercury conjunction means. The lower planet, the planet with the lowest degrees, has the say. So Mercury will act on the base of the moon. This is Mercury. This is the moon. So basically, the moon is infusing Mercury with its energy. It's saying, okay, Mercury, I know your intellect, your communication skills, blah, blah, blah. You put things back, but you need to think about it. You need to think it through. It has to be an emotional base to it. It has to be emotional response to it. So these people, like I said, they'll feel something, and then they'll analyze it and take it apart and put it back together. And they do this with their emotions. They do this with emotions. They do this with their thinking. When people are communicating, when they're involved with other people, and a feeling will come up, and then they'll be like, well, I feel like this and that, this and this and this, or I'll feel like this and they communicate their feelings. That's a main thing with Moon and Mercury, and it's like a stream of moon going through Mercury. They have to feel some way in order for their intellect to come out, in order for their communication skills to come out, in order for them to go to work and start, okay, how did this happen? How did that thing happen? Okay, why this, why that, and stuff like that. They have to feel something first. So that's a little bit, a little bit on the moon. And Mercury. Next is Mercury. You already know what Mercury is by now. And Aries, it's in Aries, in the 8th house as well, conjunction there. And Mercury in Aries is, oh man, boom, 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 boom. These people, like, these are the kind of people you want to have around in emergencies. These are the kind of people you want to have around, because Mercury, I said what Mercury was. It's your intellect. It's your reasoning skills, your cognitive skills, and it sits in Aries, a quick place, quick sign, right? Impulsive, intuitive. Instinctive. And it sits in the 8th house of emergency, sudden events. You don't know what's happening. So if something happened, these kind of people, like if it was a volcano or something like that, or I don't know, a tsunami, or somebody got shot or something like that, and everybody's going all crazy, Mercury is like, all right, you get over there, you call the cops, you go put some this over there, I'm gonna go grab this, boom, 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 and everything like that. They're all action, they like that, go to work. They don't think too much. Now moon here, I talked about the conjunction is different. I'm just talking about Mercury and Aries, and I'm kind of putting a little 8th house in it, but Mercury and Aries, that's what I'm saying. Like how their intellect works, how their cognitive skills, their reasoning skills, their brain, if you want to call it the neurons, because Mercury is the nervous system, and all of that stuff is quick. It's really quick and active. It's action oriented. So, man, and so it's a balance with every sign, man. Every sign of replacement, every aspect, everything. It's a good and bad side. So, the bad side is to watch out before you take action on something. Don't just lash out. Like if you're talking to somebody, they don't agree with you, don't just punch them in the face. Don't calm. Feel that bubbly feeling. Understand what's going on. That's a big. I was saying this is a big point of astrology. I'm just explaining these things. It's okay to feel those feelings. That's who you are. It's there for a reason. But don't let it control you. It doesn't run you. Just let the shit pass. Feel it, let it pass. Don't lash out on somebody. Don't do something you're going to regret. If you gotta go and lash out, go hit the punching bag. And that's the thing with Mercury and Aries. They might be in a heated debate because Mercury is communication, and Aries is, they don't always come off as the nicest people. That energy of Aries is just straightforward. Boom, boom, boom. This is it. I'm certain of myself. I'm all about this. This is what I believe. Blah, blah, blah. Take it or leave it. I'm done. That's Aries. And that doesn't, for everybody, that don't come across so nicely. Like, man, calm down. Man, this person all about, they all about it. They all about what they believe in. And that's a good place for Mercury to be in a debate. Because Aries is fight, competition, Mercury is intellect. Mercury is the planet you use for debate. It's the main planet for debate. So a good debater would do good to debate. And if somebody else knows somebody like this, don't debate them. They see that as words. Words is swords here. Words are knives. Words is fire. Anything that you use to fight and attack. Mercury, communication, words, speech. So these people, they take it competitively. When you communicate with them, when you talking to them, man, don't insult these people. Oh, they will. Ooh, Aries comes out, and they will cut you, slice you with their words. I'm not going to go into some of the words. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. But yeah, these people can cut you with their words. They can cut and slice you deep. From a deep place, deep, because this Mercury is in the 8th house. They know how to cut you deep. So be careful of that. I mean, watch your words, man. Watch your words. And so Mercury in the 8th house, beautiful place for somebody who needs to research once again. But here, it's not just moon, like they just like live there. They like their intellect comes from that place. Like their intelligence as far as cognitive and knowing stuff and communicating stuff more on a basic everyday level, communicating a way wherever people can understand their information, their sources of information is the deep. It's through investigation, it's through research, it's through traumatic experiences, it's through emotional experiences. They like talking about these things. They like communicating about everything I just said about transformation. Mercury actually transforms here. Like it's like in a sense, you can't put your finger on these on these people's cognitive skills. They keep transforming into something else. Mercury does. It always wants to take what the information that it knows and turn, like I said, turn the lemons into lemonade, and the lemonade into, I don't know, some other thing that you don't even recognize as it was before. It is from that same thing. And that's what they do with whatever they research, whatever they find deep down there, and they want to communicate this to people on a level they can understand. That's what Mercury here does. So that was a little bit on Mercury in the 8th house. And now the aspects. Mercury is sextile to Saturn. Sextile it's an easy, favorable aspect. It's just, it takes effort. Like the trine is effortless. You don't have to try. It's just those two planets, they just automatically work with each other without you even trying. But a sextile takes little effort, and the aspect here is 4. It's -4 degrees, which means it takes not much effort for these two planets to work together. And Mercury sextile Saturn, it means that, okay, with little effort, right? With little effort, I need to organize. It's an organization of the intellect. It's an organization of your cognitive skills, your the things that you have found out, the knowledge that you, not knowledge, but the information that you have. And with Mercury sextile Saturn, with little effort, the information becomes organized, like a library or something, like an encyclopedia, an almanac, some kind of book where all information is on there. It's organized. It's in a structure. All of that, basically. Also, with this aspect, this Mercury sextile Saturn. Saturn is action. Saturn is, I don't want to say action, but it's work. Saturn is work. It's where if you do something over and over and over and over and over to achieve an end, achieve a goal. So that's what happens with all the information that Mercury is getting in the eighth house. It organizes it and puts it into this sort of like a manual to obtain something, to achieve a goal. With little effort. Once again, takes a little effort, but you can do it. These are the people who, like, they'll make out a plan and then execute their plan, but it takes effort. Okay, so those are the aspects. Now, the house rulerships. Mercury rules the 10th house and the first house. I want to do the first house first because that's good. I like that. That's good. So the first house is the ascendant Mercury, Virgo, and it's the chart ruler. It's an entire chart ruler. The chart ruler is the planet that rules the first house. It's where, it's a good analogy that I read, that your ascendant is, how does it go? The ascendant is the car. The sun is the person driving the car, and wherever the natal chart ruler sits is where the car is going. Basically, everything your life like is going to go to that direction. So here's the eighth house. Your life is all about that one way or another. Your life is like your viewpoint. Everything it goes to the eighth house. Is your destination house. Is what your life is about. Can I put the first house ruler is like, is one of the most important planets. It's one of the most important planets because it shows you where you're going in life, what your orientation to life, what area is it? Like, what is my life about? What am I all, not what is my life about, but where am I going? Like, it's like the where am I going question. And when you find your natal chart ruler, you'll start getting answers. That's why, like, a lot of times I like to, if I'm looking at a chart, I start from the first house ruler, because that's going to tell me a lot about the person. A lot. So, with the Lord of the first house going into the eighth house, your whole life is about everything I said in the eighth house, transformation. These people are constantly trying to, or if they're trying, they're forced to, or they just go towards it. Transformation. They don't, like, their life is all about turning some, y'all know what transformation is, turning something from the ashes, burning it from the ashes, destroying it or whatever, or just a transformative process. You know how you burn paper and it turns to ashes, and then you see the smoke rise up and stuff like that. That's the kind of processes these people are all about and will go through. They will go through it through investigation. They'll go and they'll find something and it'll change their whole shit, everything, their whole life. They investigate, they'll do some research. These people are about, the underground world, the hidden things, the taboo things. And when they dive into these things, like I said, it changes their whole shit. Everything. They feel like they are a new person. Not that far from new. I mean, not that far of a change, but they're not the same person they used to be. Because they found this new, well, not really new, because they uncovered this secret, it transformed their whole life. And like I said, and when I was talking about Saturn, transformation is a slow process for the most part. It's a slow process. So that's what I said. Like, it's not going. Some things may, for these people, it might come like alter them to the point where people don't recognize them. But I'm talking about from this person's, or if you have this, you might feel like something different is happening. I'm someone new, but not drastically somebody completely different. That happens over time. Over time. So your life is all about that. Your life is all about uncovering the secrets. And Mercury here wants to communicate those secrets. It wants to build its cathedral. It wants to be a billboard of of occult knowledge, of mystical things, mystical experiences, things like ghosts and I don't know, these underground cults and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. And it just that's what these people life is all about. They're all, in one way, most of the time you'll see these people researching or just somehow reading between the lines. Am I blurry? Can y'all see me good? Reading between the lines. Those that is big. That is huge. And Mercury also rules the 10th house. And 10th house is your reputation, is your social status, is what everybody sees you as in the public light. Like your status. What are you on a grand scale? Are you middle class, regular person? Are you the president? Are you athlete, basketball player, celebrity, whatever? That's the 10th house. It's the house of prestige. It's the house with that 10th house is the house where you climb that ladder. All right, to get to that position, to get that promotion, to get that fame, to get that whatever that status is. It's the house of authority, the authority you have as well as authority over you. It is your career environment, not your actual career. It's like when you go to your career, what are you surrounded by? What kind of things are you surrounded by? What is going on in your surroundings? For example, somebody could have Libra in their 10th house, but they play sports. That just means you're surrounded by diplomacy, people who are tactful, things who are balanced, things who are beautiful,